Hi, my name is Mahmud Huseynov. I'm a British school in Baku Alumni, where I have studied from 2011 to 2018. I have graduated British school in Baku with the Principal's Recognition Award and later moved to the University of Nottingham. For the last 3 years, I have been studying there for my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. 2 months ago, I have graduated from University of Nottingham with Top 1 Student Award. Followingly, I have applied to University College London and I am currently studying there for my Master's in Robotics and Computation. In this video, I would like to give some honest opinions about studying in the UK. The aim of this video is to give as much information as possible from my experience to students or parents who are considering to study in the UK or sending their children over to the UK to study there. I will try to cover a basic understanding of 3 topics. These topics are university, accommodation, and life in the UK. Although this video is UK based, many of the things talked here also apply to the Europe as well. Even though I will use University of Nottingham or mechanical engineering to give some specific examples, I have tried to make the content of this video general so that students applying for a course outside the engineering or for a university other than University of Nottingham would benefit from this video as well. Please watch till the end, because Dr. Mirko Magnini, who used to be my professor in University of Nottingham, and my coursemate Hamza will provide some useful advice and talk about some of the common mistakes that students make. Please note that this video was not sponsored or funded by any organization, company, or the named enterprises. Firstly, let's cover the universities in the UK. To do so, I would like to give a brief introduction of University of Nottingham. University of Nottingham is a Russell Group university which is ranked among the top 100 universities in the world. University of Nottingham has 8 libraries, where each one of them is for one department. For engineering department, it was George Green Library. Other than that, there are in-campus buses that are completely free for University of Nottingham students. There are some common areas to make friends and sport facilities. Inside the campus, we even have a health center. In the UK, when starting the university, you get an academic email address, a student ID card, and a university username. The university contacts you through this academic email address. The student ID card is for accessing the lecture rooms, buildings, or facilities of the university. The university username allows you accessing to the portal and websites of the university. A bachelor course in the UK is completed in 3 years. Each bachelor year contains 120 credits. These are normally split between 10 and 20 credit modules, so you would expect 6 to 12 modules per academic year depending on your course. The University of Nottingham guideline is to spend 10 hours of studying for each credit. This means you would expect studying 1,200 hours per academic year. However, I was particularly working hard, where my workload was much more than that. In terms of the semesters, there are 2 semesters per academic year, autumn and spring semester. Each semester contains 60 credits of content and lasts for 12 weeks. Normally, the first week of the semester is the introduction week and the last week of the semester is the revision week. Thus, you wouldn't expect much content in these 2 weeks, meaning the main workload is during the 10-week period of each semester. In the University of Nottingham, we had 3 to 5 weeks of holiday after each semester, which was followed by a 2-week examination period. Therefore, students usually do revision in this 3 to 5 weeks holiday period. Normally, we had 26 hours of lecture every week, but my friends who was doing business-related modules had 13 hours of lecture every week. So the hours of lecture per week depends from course to course. In the start of my course, we were 450 students in the course. By the end of the 3rd year, this got down to as much as 130 students. This was because many students took gap year, dropped from the university, or ended the university due to the pandemic. The lecture rooms we had were massive, with huge projectors and speakers. However, the size of the lecture room and the number of students in the course highly depends on the university and the course of selection. My friend in London, who was doing a business-related module, had a small lecture room with 20 students in his class. The lectures in the University of Nottingham and many other universities over the UK get recorded and uploaded to a website for students to view later. This is not only because if a student misses a lecture, he can watch it online, but also because a student can watch the lecture as many times as they want, and this is very useful during the examination period. In terms of the lecturers, even though we were 450 people in the class, I was impressed on how the lecturer can answer each individual questions of each student. Normally, lectures were 50 minutes and 10 minutes in the end was allocated for asking questions to the lecturer. Whenever I couldn't ask my questions in this 10-minute slot, I could arrange a meeting with my professors and meet them in their office to ask my questions. Of course, this depends on the lecturer, but I would say on average 80% of them was open to meeting students in their own time. In the universities in the UK, there are also courseworks. Courseworks can be thought of as homeworks that are compulsory, meaning the mark you get from them counts towards your final marks and appears on your diploma. Courseworks can be asked to be done individually or as a group work. They all have a deadline set for them, and most of them are asked to be completed during the semester. Normally, with many lecturers, you can get support on your courseworks as well. The exams were fully on campus during 2018 up to middle of 2019. 2 weeks before the examination period, you would be sent an exam timetable, which would include the location and the time of your exams. Usually, the exam rooms contained over 500 students and over 20 invigilators. Many of the exams for mechanical engineering was open book or multiple choice questions, which had to be completed in 2 or 3 hours depending on the module. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the exams moved to be online and open book. They were sent to students and had to be completed at home in a given time and submitted to the university, just like the courseworks. One thing I want to mention is that the university differs from school in many ways. One important one I have recognized was based on the responsibility. Especially in the UK, professors or staff never chase students that are not studying. However, they are always open for the help that you require. Thus, it's the student's responsibility to study, to do his courseworks and submit them on time. In terms of the support you get from the universities, there are 2 best possible options. One of them is through student services, which is a dedicated team to serve the students with many inquiries they might have. Some examples of the inquiries you can make to the student services is doing your enrollment, getting some documents from the university, or solving the IT problems or the problems related to your student ID card. The second option is through your personal tutor, which is a teaching professor in the university. They get allocated to 4 or 8 students. They don't teach you, but they are there to help with anything related to the university. They are the person you should always contact when things go wrong. For example, if you are in trouble with the university for any reasons, or if you are finding a particular module hard, they advise and guide you on this. They also arrange some regular meetings to check if you are alright and guide you on your academic performance. There are also extenuating circumstances, shortly called EC. Students can apply for an EC if there is a problem that's significantly affecting their academic performance. ECs extend the deadline of your courseworks or move your exams to some other time. So as we can see, the universities are very kind, thinks about all the problems that students might have, and has all the support. Lastly, I would like to talk about the tuition fees of the universities. The tuition fees depend on the university and the course. The fees also depend on if you are an international or a British student. As an example, for mechanical engineering, the tuition fees were £9,000 for British students and £21,000 for international students per academic year. However, some courses related to the business and law can be cheaper, and some courses related to the chemistry and biology can be more expensive. Now, I would like to present a video of our interview with Dr. Mirko Magnini, who will further detail about the universities. Then we will talk about housing and accommodations. Hi, we are in the University of Nottingham with Dr. Mirko Magnini, and he's going to give an overview of University of Nottingham, and then we will move to the interview questions.
Thank you very much, Mahmoud, for your kind introduction, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to discuss about the University of Nottingham, and thank you very much on behalf of all the university for this great project that you are creating of talking about the university in front of students from other countries. We are here in front of the Trent building, which is the iconic building of the University of Nottingham that you can find in all the brochure or websites about the University of Nottingham. I would like just to introduce a little bit the university and explain why I love this place and why I think it's a great place for students to come and study. First of all, the University of Nottingham is a very international university with more than 150 countries represented by the students studying here. And other than that, it has 3 campuses within Nottingham, 3 very large campuses that all won many awards for their green spaces. If you want to take a look around, especially this family of ducks moving around, you see you can have a look at the green spaces around the university, and it's important to say that the University of Nottingham also has 2 campuses abroad, one in Malaysia, one in China, with specific programs to enable exchange of students between the countries.
Dr. Mirko, why would a student select an engineering-related course?
Well, that's a very good and a very difficult question. I can give you a bit of the personal answer to it. Personally, I love the way engineering marries fundamental science and applications, and the very wide range of things that you can do as an engineer once you learn all the fundamental principles. For example, as a mechanical engineer, and I teach in the fluid mechanics area, you find here a gas turbine used for aero propulsion, and as a mechanical engineer you learn how to design the turbine from both a solid and a fluid mechanic point of view. A turbine which is something like this one is about 4 meters of diameter. But at the same time, with the same fundamental knowledge that you will learn at the university as an engineer, you will also learn how to design these micro devices, which are actually 10,000 times smaller than that turbine. What you see here, all these tiny lines you see, are actually pipes. Are pipes where fluid flows through, and these pipes, tiny ones, they're actually, their diameter is 100 micrometers. 100 micrometers means 0.1 millimeter compared to the 4 meters of the turbine. But the same fundamental fluid mechanics equations, they govern the flow both in these pipes and in the gas turbine. So I think this is just, it's amazing, the fact that the same fundamental knowledge will take you in so many different fields and so distant from each other.
What side events can students try to maximize their knowledge in their field?
Okay, well, I would say that depends a little bit on the specific university where you will be and the specific program you will take. For example, as an engineer here at the University of Nottingham, we have formula students, which are extra projects that a student will take, that will take the student directly to the field to really apply the skills that will have to be learned as an engineer into a small model of a Formula One car. And also we have, for example, the year in industry, where a student will really spend 1 year to work in an industry to apply the skills and to to become a real engineer. So I would say all the side activities you can do are all these activities that are really related to apply your knowledge that you get from classes, apply them to really practical projects.
What are some of the common mistakes that students make?
Well, let's say that the first mistake is not to embrace the university as a whole environment. We have seen, especially during the period of COVID, that many students, especially at the beginning, tended to close up. What I suggest is to embrace the university as a whole community, both from the social point, so meeting people, and also from the academic point, which is to study for exams, taking lectures. It's very important to keep a balance between studying and socializing, to keep an open mind and to keep the right mood for studying. Then I can think of not just the study methodology. Do not just study for the exam, to know what is required for the exam. You should become an engineer, so study with an open mind. Think there are many resources available for you. You can use YouTube, you can use websites, you can use libraries. All the material we teach come from books. Use books. They are the best resources that we have available. So one of the mistakes would be just focus on what you need for the exam and not look at the knowledge as an open thing that you have access to.
What does a professor or a lecturer like to see from the students?
Funny question, this one. I would say enthusiasm, what we like to see from the students. We love teaching, and we teach for you. And we spend a lot of time, and we like it. So we are very happy when we see that students are interested, and students make questions, students want to know more, they ask more questions. So what we like to see is to see students picking up a topic and really being interested.
What kind of skills make a good student, and how can students maximize those skills?
Curiosity. I think, if I had to think about not only engineering, but in general, university, curiosity is the first skill that is required to a student. Whether you are studying engineering or literature, you have to be curious. You have to think what I'm going to be able to do once that I learn this concept. That's the most important skill that is, it guarantees success in many, many different fields. How to improve it? Participate to the university. Look around. Take a walk in the nature and try to think, why is this happening? Why this droplet of water is falling on a leaf of a plant this way? Try to look around. That's the best way to improve these skills.
Does the university teach other things than just the lessons?
Oh, well, definitely. For example, in engineering, one very fundamental thing that the university teaches is professional skills. First of all, how to manage your time in the most efficient way. How to optimize your usage of time to get the best out of you in a short time. How to become an engineer who will have many tasks to be organized in a week. So that's one of the most important things the university teaches outside of lessons. Other than that, the university teaches you how to apply for jobs, how to participate to interviews, how to build your curriculum to be attractive from companies. So there are many, many other things that the university will teach you over the years, other than lessons.
What are some of the challenges or benefits students might face when moving from school to the university?
Okay, so there are challenges that will become benefits. So, for example, I think the biggest obstacle when you start is that from high school you are guided about what to study. You are given the material, you know what you have to study, you are very well guided in what you have to do. But when you come to university, you are not guided. You know that there is a topic that you need to learn, and the way you will learn it, or the material, the resources you will use to learn it, that's you who has to learn how to find them. The university will give you lectures, but then you have also to find the different, pieces of the puzzle that put together will build your knowledge.
Can you provide some final message that you would like to get across students?
Well, yes, definitely. What I can say to students is to think of the university as your greatest opportunity to become better thinker. Whether you choose to become an engineer or a scientist, or you choose literature, the university will teach you how to become a better thinker, and you will realize that you will be a different person after the path that you take during the university. And this is a great opportunity that you will figure it out already after just a few weeks at the university.
Dr. Mirko, how can students select the best course or field of study?
I think that the best course or field of study really comes from what you think you're really good at. So look at which topics of high school did you like the most. What makes you more motivated? When you think about you in the future, in which field you would like to work. So it's just really look inside yourself, what you really excites you the most, what motivates you the most.
Would you say British school in Baku prepares students well enough or gives them enough background knowledge to study in a prestigious university like University of Nottingham?
Absolutely. First of all, the British school in Baku is very well recognized internationally for preparing students very well for universities. Is an accredited Cambridge examination center, and I remember very well also from your question during my fluid mechanics module that you had an excellent preparation in mathematics and physics. So I'm absolutely certain that the British school in Baku is an excellent starting point for students to go study abroad.
In the second part of this video, I would like to talk about housing and accommodations. In UK, you can select either to rent a house or stay in an accommodation. I prefer staying in an accommodation because it's more safe and secure. In almost all accommodations, you get provided with the access key to the building. This ensures that someone from outside cannot enter to the accommodation buildings. Also, in many accommodations, there is a reception right in the entrance of the building, which has security guards for 24 hours, 7 days. On average, privately owned accommodations have lower quality of service, are more expensive, and in almost all cases they are not catered. Thus, I prefer the university-owned accommodations. When selecting from the university-owned accommodations, you have two options. Either you can request a catered room or non-catered room. I prefer the first option because catered accommodations save you lots of time and effort and allow you more time to focus on your studies. You may also have the option of selecting a shared bathroom and a kitchen. These options may be cheaper than having your own kitchen and toilet in your room, but they might not be suitable with people who care about the hygiene. The room sizes in the student accommodations range from 10 meters square up to 25 meters square. However, there may be some accommodations providing room sizes outside this range. The average pricing for an accommodation can be £5,000 to £9,000 outside the London and £9,000 to £20,000 inside the London per academic year, which is 33 or 40 weeks. In accommodations, just like the university, you have some common areas where you can socialize and play table games. In the third and final part of our video, I would like to talk about life in the UK. During the first 4 or 5 weeks in the UK, it can be a bit challenging to get used to the city to the country or to the environment. Afterwards, there can be some difficulties as well. However, no matter what the problem was, University of Nottingham always had the support for me. As a student, I enjoyed my time in the UK, and I believe the environment here is such that I can focus more on my studies. In terms of the security, it's usually secure in the UK. However, I don't go out after 10 o'clock in the evening. As stated before, as the university and accommodations have access key to enter to their facilities, these places are normally very secure. In terms of the social life, there are lots of students from all over the world in the UK. I made many friends that are from England, Europe, Middle East and Turkey. There are usually societies that you can join and common rooms that you can use to socialize. With that being said, I would like to present our interview with my coursemate Hamza, who will give some advice and useful tips to new students about living in the UK. Hi Hamza, can you give an introduction about yourself to our audience?
Okay, my name is Hamza Shabir and I recently graduated from University of Nottingham. I was born in the UK, but originally I'm from Pakistan, and I moved from my hometown in Cambridge to study mechanical engineering at Nottingham, and this is also where I met Mahmoud. We got to discussing in one of the lectures how difficult the course was, and how hard some of the lecturers could be. And I've known Mahmoud for 3 years now, and we have a really good friendship. And I hope to, in the future, we get to work together again, and hopefully we get to keep in contact with each other.
What advice do you have for international students on how to socialize or make friends?
Okay, so I found that a lot of international students tend not to join sports societies and other course societies. I feel like by joining these you will meet people on your course, but then also if you join sports societies as well, you'll meet lots of different people who are doing different courses, and you'll make really good friends through these. And a lot of sports societies and course societies, they do lots of events where it's not about the course, it's just you get to know each other, where you come from, what you do, what you want to do in the future. Even in the sports societies, they'll have similar events where you go out and you meet your peers. So this is, I would suggest, a very good, any international student, I would just highly suggest that you do these because you'll meet a lot of people there. The SU, which is the student union, they also run lots of activities for international students to meet other international students and students from the UK. And these could be something a little bit different, where they could be like a movie night and things like that. Again, places to make lots of good friends and socialise. And I'm certain if you join these, you will make lots of friends, and your life in the UK will be much easier, and your experience will be much better.
Have you got some important information for international students that are arriving to the UK?
Okay. So in the UK, you tend, if you want to buy restricted items, you need some form of ID. And I see a lot of international students using their biometric resident permit, their BRP or their visa. I highly suggest you apply for a driver's license, because if you lose your BRP, you will struggle to come into the UK or go out of the UK. And if the driving license is accepted as an ID, same as a BRP, and if you lose your driver's license, you can apply again, and the application process is very simple. So I suggest you apply for your driver's license as soon as you come here, because it's accepted in the UK as a good form of ID. Okay, and the second thing I would suggest is that you know where your health centre is, where your GP is, and where your hospital is. Knowing the emergency contact information, because it's important to know these, so if your health at any point does deteriorate and you need emergency care, you can get it as soon as you need it. So your GP, I would suggest you sign up as soon as you come to the UK, and I believe international students can sign up for a GP. So a GP is like your personal doctor, so every time you go visit, the GP keeps records of any previous illnesses you've had and things like that, and you usually need your NHS number, which you get given when you arrive to the UK. So it's a good idea to get a GP, sign up for the health centre. It's just making sure that you keep yourself safe when you are in the UK.
So, is it easy to get halal food in the UK?
Yes, if you live in the big cities where most of the big universities are, you can get halal food very easily. Most restaurants tend to be halal, and if you wanted to cook for yourself, there are shops available run by local people that do sell halal meat. So it's not a problem for you to get halal meat and go to restaurants that do sell halal food.
Nice. Thank you so much for the interview and for the information. And
No problem.
we have came to the end of our video. Special thanks to my kind professors Dr. Mirko Magnini, Dr. Abdelkhalik Muhammad, and Dr. Kishan Rangarash, and my kind friend Hamza Shabiri for their time and effort and participation in this video. I also want to thank to Zamir Ganjaliev from StudyNet, who helped me with the university selection, application and visa process when I applied for my bachelor's and master's. I hope this video was helpful, and thanks for watching.